Hey guys, so with the buff coming to Eriana's Vow of 67% damage buff against shielded targets, and with the Solar Fulmination artifact perk coming out, your ignitions will do increased damage in an increased radius. I wanted to make some builds around explosions and Eriana's Vow, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So first up, we're going to be looking at the Warlock, and we're going to be using an exotic that you probably haven't seen or used in a very long time, and it's going to be Starfire Protocol. And if you don't know, Starfire Protocol works by giving you an additional fusion grenade, and damaging enemies inside of an empowering rift grants you additional fusion grenade energy, with final blows giving you even more grenade energy. And those fusion grenade kills immediately give you your full empowering rift back. Now for the weapons, I used the fixed odds mainly because it has incandescent, and I decided to use Defiance of Yasmin mainly because it has a perk on it called Osmosis. Now, Osmosis changes the weapon's damage type to match yours when you throw a grenade. This is going to come into play with a lot of the sniper artifact perks that are coming out next week, so you'll kind of start to see where I'm going with this build. And if you didn't know, Eriana's Vow is a hand cannon sniper, essentially. It has anti-barrier intrinsic, and if you pop any matching elemental shield, or pop a barrier shield, it immediately causes an ignition. So there's going to be 3 fragments that are going to be very important with this build across all 3 characters. Those fragments are Ember of Eruption, your solar ignitions have an increased area of effect. Ember of Ashes, you apply more scorch stacks to targets. And Ember of Char, your solar ignitions spread scorch to affected targets. Now the 4th fragment varies depending on the Titan, Hunter, or Warlock, but for the Warlock we're going to be using Ember of Resolve, where fusion grenades are going to cure us and give us about 45 health every time. For aspects, we'll be using Touch of Flame, which causes the fusion grenade to explode twice, massively increasing its damage. And we'll also be using Helion, so that every time you put an empowering rift down, you're going to get that little solar buddy that's going to cause even more ignitions. The super is really up to you, but I personally think Song of Flame is the best choice here. So with the setup, you'll put your empowering rift down to get a Helion, start damaging targets from inside of it if you need to get your grenade back, and throw all your fusion grenades to cause massive explosions. If you see a champion or a target with a solar shield, make sure you shoot them with Eriana's Vow because it'll immediately cause an ignition. Use your heavy weapon with incandescent to cause even more scorch. And then the last part of this build is the sniper with Osmosis. You can throw your fusion grenade when you have a good opportunity to snipe a target, turning your sniper into a solar sniper, applying scorch stacks from the artifact perk. Incendiary rifle rounds, which states solar sniper rifle precision hits scorch targets, as well as Sniper's Meditation. Sniper rifle hits grant stacking sniper rifle damage, stability, and reload bonuses for a short time. There's also going to be anti-barrier sniper next week as well, which will make it even better. Now for the Titan, I wanted to use an exotic that was recently buffed and doesn't see any use. And that's going to be Kepri's Horn, which states, Solar final blows recharge your barricade. Your barricade unleashes a blast of solar energy that scorches targets. Now the way this works is it's going to send out a wave of fire, but with the recent buff, that wave of fire is going to come back towards you, and it'll ignite any target that it hits twice on the way out and the way in. For weapons, I kept them the same, so the typical loadout, a sniper with Osmosis, Eriana's Vow, and an incandescent machine gun. For our super, I went with Hammer of Soul, and this is the one fragment that's going to change. Because as I stated, Ember of Eruption, Ember of Ashes, and Ember of Char are the 3 important fragments for this build, but the 4th one varies. So for a Titan, I use Ember of Combustion, so that any of your Hammer of Soul kills are going to explode targets in an ignition. We're also going to be using Hammer Strike, which if you manage to kill any targets with your shoulder charge, it'll cause an immediate ignition. We'll want to use Soul Invictus with this so that any of our ignitions or sunspot kills will create even more sunspots and scorch targets. You can gain restoration by going inside if you need to heal, and then we'll use Roaring Flames so that our ignitions will do even more damage. For the grenade on the Titan, I went with Swarm Grenade. It's very easy to use, it scorches targets, and it comes back very, very fast. Now for the Hunter, I used 2 different setups for this. One focusing on Caliban's Hand, and one focusing on the Bombardiers. For Caliban's Hand, it states your proximity knife scorches targets or ignites targets on final blows. And if you kill a target while you're radiant, you immediately get your throwing knife back. For the Hunter aspects, I use Knock 'em Down, so that while you're radiant, you get your throwing knife back. That's the most important part. And Gunpowder Gamble. which states defeating targets with solar abilities, solar debuffs, and solar weapons charge up an improvised solar explosion. When you throw it, you can shoot it or just let it blow up, and it causes an ignition. Now, I don't know if this is going to be buffed by the artifact fragment, but there's a good chance. You're obviously going to want to use proximity knife if you're using Caliban's hand. Now, the other setup that I tried was with bombardiers, which states when you dodge, it creates an explosion based on your super. Because we're running solar, it's going to scorch targets. With this setup, I used firebolt grenade, or you can use swarm grenade, it's up to you. And I basically just go in, throw my grenade, do a dodge, almost causes an ignition every time. And if you really want to build into this, you can use Ember of Singeing, which states your class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets. Use Eriana's Vow for any big targets in the distance or to pop shields. And your sniper if you really need to take something down. And don't forget to proc Osmosis before you shoot your sniper. I hope you guys enjoyed these explosive build ideas as I tried to go off-brand and make them a little more unique than people typically do. So if you like the content that you see and you guys want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Turn on the bell for notifications. But either way, I'll catch you guys in the next video. It's egg sandwich time.